time. Hi, Joyes. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, enjoying these little moments that last a lifetime. Before I proceed, I want to ask you something. This question will be the focus of my presentation. And the question is, what happens if? What happens if we disconnect for a few moments and we enjoy the moment right now? Today, I brought for you an Ethiopian Landers coffee, or better known as a pink bourbon, a rare variety with a scarce production and difficult to cultivate. Because as we know, to find the best version of this coffee, it needs a higher concentration of nutrients. That's why we had to be careful with its production. This coffee had a rigorous selection process, where we personally pick only the ripe, healthy, and dark red cherries. Because as we know, the cherries have a higher concentration of mucilage, and by the color we know that they are at the exact point of maturation, where the sugar are a greater exposure, reaching up to 22 degrees Brix, and then float to remove the cherries from the surface and guarantee a raw material of excellent quality. We did all this in order to carry out a beneficial washing process, always focused on enhancing its sugars. For this reason, this coffee had a double fermentation process. The first in anaerobic waves in tanks with relief valve for 90 hours at the temperature of 20 degrees. And then go to heat pulled process, where we remove the shell and much of the mucilage. After that, be able to start with the second fermentation process in enclosed bags for 36 hours. And then go to heat washing process with thermal shock, lowering the temperature to fix the aromas developed in the different phases of fermentation. And then start with heat drying process in a mechanical dryer with air recirculation for 40 hours at the temperature of 36 degrees. We did all this together with Jairo Arcila in his farm, La Pradera, in my country, Colombia, in the department of Quindío, at a height of 1,930 meters above sea level. All right, oh yes, and now what happens if? What happens if we roast 2 kilos of this coffee in a roastery with a capacity of 35 kilos and fluid bag technology from the hand of Alejandro Moyano, extending the Maillard reaction, seeking to reduce acidity, making greater dark caramelization, and more balance in the flavors. This coffee had 8 minutes roast time, and 1 minute and 20 seconds development time. What we found thanks to this variety, with more nutrients and the roasting curve that I mentioned earlier, was a profile with flavors of passion fruit, malt, caramel, and a sweet chocolate residual with herbal and floral notes. This coffee was roasted 15 days ago at 2,600 meters above sea level in the Bogota city, but left exposed to the oxygen to accelerate the degassing process and bring you a coffee that I am sure is in the right moment of degassing, where I found a balance between freshness and oxygenation. All right, oh yes, the information of the farm, variety, beneficial process, and descriptors, it is in front of you. I found the best version of this espresso with 90 grams of coffee for 40 grams of espresso, where I found a 20% of extraction with 9.10 of TDS. These parameters I am using for all of the drinks that I'm making today. All right, yes. Please, when you receive your espressos, Mix them 10 times in a circular way with the spoon that you have in front of you. Thank you. This to lowering the temperature and incorporate the crema. And then please smell it and enjoy this beautiful aroma. And in this way, be able to perceive much easier a medium sweet, medium acidity, low bitterness, with a medium weight, juicy and refreshing mouthfeel, and a lasting aftertaste. With beautiful flavors of passion fruit, malt, mangosteen, caramel, and a sweet chocolate residual with herbal and floral notes. You can leave this spoon in the black cup that you have in front of you. Once again, judges. Medium sweet, medium acidity, low bitterness, with a medium weight, juicy and refreshing mouthfeel, and a lasting aftertaste of sweet chocolate with herbal and floral notes. Don't forget, mix them 10 times in a circular way with the spoon that you have in front of you. And then smell it and enjoy this beautiful aroma. All right, judges, these are your espressos. And now, what happens if? What happens if we add some color to this day with a beautiful cup of coffee? My friend, this is for you. Please enjoy. Mom, this is for you. Please enjoy. I will give you a few seconds. Then you can enjoy these beautiful espressos. This is for you, and this is for you, my friend. Please enjoy. I'll be back soon. All right, judges, are we ready? Now, what happens if we break the parameters of preparing meal drinks with the fresh espressos? For this reason, I prepared the espressos for meal drinks 3 minutes ago. And also, put them on low temperature to reduce the crema and find a greater concentration of flavors. On the other hand, what happens if we take a fresh milk with a fat percentage of 3.5% and reduce its percentage of water through evaporation by transfer for 2 hours at low heat? And as we can see, at 60 minutes, we found a 20% of water reduction at a temperature of 70 degrees. At 90 minutes, we found a 30% of water reduction at the temperature of 80 degrees. And finally, at 120 minutes, we found a 40% of water reduction at the temperature of 90 degrees. We did all this to find more concentration of fats, sugars, and proteins, and also to add more proteins and make this drink more interesting and introducing the alternative meal to these championships. I am using 16 grams of almond milk bast, dissolved in 280 grams of the milk that I mentioned before. That when combined with your espressos at low temperature, you will feel a beautiful flavors of butter cookies, passion fruit ice cream, macadamia with a silky texture, and it's residual that surprised me when I tried it. Residual, thank you, like a hazelnut. So judges, to enhance this experience, please follow my instruction carefully. Where the first sip, you're going to take it directly from the cup. And the second sip, please take it with the straw that you have in front of you. In the first sip, you will feel its flavors of butter cookies, passion fruit ice cream, macadamia, and a silky texture. And the second sip with the straw, you will feel its sweetness and a beautiful residual of hazelnut. You can leave this straw in the small glass that you have in front of you. All right, here we go. Here we are, my friend. This is for you. Please enjoy. And this is for you. Please enjoy. All right, judges, are we ready? Now, what happens if we unite two worlds that have lived in parallel over the years? The world of the coffee and the world of infusions. For this reason, I want to recreate a tree taking into account the profile of this coffee. And let's remember the spicy notes and mild flavors, thank you, of this coffee. And representing the root and the trunk of this tree, I have my first ingredient, a syrup to prepare it with 50 grams of licorice root, for 30 grams of brown sugar, dissolved in 200 milliliters of water, and also frozen and decanted to add a greater concentration of flavors. I am using 30 grams of this syrup to add sweetness and a silky texture. All right, judges, let's remember the fruity notes of this coffee, and representing the fruit of this tree, I have 15 grams of passion fruit that representing the fruit of this tree. Now, to representing the herbal and floral notes of this coffee, I have an infusion with a different flower as well as the variety that I brought for you today. 5 grams of clitoria flower infused in 200 milliliters of water. Now let's remember the sliced citrus notes of this coffee with 1 gram of lemon. Judges, please focus your attention on this magical moment where you will see a beautiful color change when modifying the pH of this infusion. I am using 30 grams of this mixture to a juicy sensation and a lasting aftertaste. Now, to incorporate all the flavors and make this drink more interesting, I'm going to carbonate only the ingredients without altering the essence of the espresso. All right, judges, the result of the union of these two words are flavors of raspberry, date, panela, with a silky texture and juicy sensation, and a lasting aftertaste of sweet chocolate with herbal and floral notes. All right, judges, please, when you receive your gifts, open the box and move the glass carefully to incorporate the aroma. Thank you. Don't forget flavors of raspberry, date, and panela. And finally, judges, what happens if we receive, appreciate, and enjoy the small gifts that life gives us? 1 second, I'll be back in a minute. Don't forget, open the box and move the glass carefully. My friend, this is for you. Please enjoy. Mom, this is for you. Please enjoy. Thank you. My friend, this is for you. Please enjoy. And this is for you. Please enjoy. From the hand of the coffee grower, Jairo Arcila, to my hand, Cesar Velandia as a barista, making the special coffee a gift that we can all enjoy. Time.
And that's Cesar de Colombia.